Hey everybody, me in front of the camera first.
It's been a while.
Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, February 9th, 9 a.m. this morning. We're going to be doing some garden maintenance, and we thought we would bring you along.
55 degrees. Yesterday it was 89.
It was weird, so here we
Texas weather is crazy.
Yeah.
So we're burning off some brush that we had trimmed this winter.
Yeah, we've already started some of our garden maintenance.
Yeah.
One of the things we're going to highlight is our sugar cane, which again, we've already kind of started that. We've got some lemongrass there in the middle. One of the worries, though, that we have with the sugar cane is we've grown this beautiful sugar cane, but we don't really have a great way of processing it. We've done some boiling of the stalks.
It just didn't come out right. It was kind of nasty.
Mike just didn't feel like it came out right.
I think any suggestions, please put in the comments. I know Deep South, Danny and Wanda, they have this press where they press it.
Which that would be super to have.
And we've looked online and they're kind of pricey, even the smaller ones, but apparently you press it and the sugar goes into liquid form and then you boil it and cook it down to a syrup. Now what we did is we cut it into little like 2-inch strips and I carved the outside and then we put it into a pot and boiled it, but it just came out mucky and it was kind of nasty. So any suggestions on how to process sugarcane at home? We would love any information.
Yeah. Other than that, as we take you along, you'll see that we've got spring kind of springing up around here, which is exciting and yet worrisome because we're still in the beginning of February.
Yeah.
And at least in the last few years, it seems like February has kind of been key for like another huge freeze, even some snowfall.
Yeah, it can happen.
Coming through. So we'll see, but we'll take you along.
Rule of thumb is we don't plant anything here in our zone, 8B, Central Texas, until March the 15th to the 20th. That's when
that may be shifting a little bit depending on weather patterns.
So we're ready to weed the garden, show them the onions.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And I don't have a remote, guys, so you're gonna see me pushing the on and off. I just ordered a new one, so you know how I got my little clicker. I don't like to edit. Let's go. So the garden is doing good. We've got a lot of weeds along the fence that we need to pull. We planted Texas Legend, yellow sweet onions, and Creole reds. And there's a total of 224. And as usual, we'll leave spaces in between so we can put peppers and tomatoes. This is our Vegega, and we'll leave a link. So if you want to go and buy a Vegega, these are great raised beds. They're really easy to put together. And I'll try to put the link to the video of us putting these together in case you're interested in buying it. I think you'll get a discount code if you use our promo code. But just, you know, weeds in between the onions we need to get going. The rest of the garden is, again, dormant. We're waiting for the weather, but right now we can just do maintenance. We have garlic over here, I think about 100 elephant garlic. Now in this bed right here, we're going to go ahead and plant a bunch of carrots and beets. So we'll do that today. We just want to clear it up and clean it out. And then, of course, the back bed where the fence is, we're going to do cucumbers and beans. Hey, friends. So this is kind of leftover from this past winter. And I'll bring in close here and show you what we have. We have a surprise. We have 2 beautiful romescos, which is basically green cauliflower. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest those now, and those are going to be really tasty. Pull the leaves back. Nice sharp knife, and look at that. Is that beautiful? I'm going to go ahead and get the other one too. Oh, we've got 3. Surprise. Put it on the wash table. And here's a little one. We'll go ahead and harvest it because we're pretty much done with this for the cycle. All right, guys, so we're just kind of going through the onions, pulling out the weeds, and I've got my fork on the hoe and just kind of loosening up the soil in between the onions, and that'll help give some air in there. And we're using a natural fertilizer. Just try to pop these little weeds. Just be gentle. You don't want to hurt the onions. See how that loosens the soil up nice? And just like that. Kind of sprinkling a little misty out here today. But we are, just to kind of give you guys an update here in Central Texas and also towards San Antonio and South Texas, we're in a major drought. The lakes here are down low. We have our Lake Travis, which runs from the Colorado River, and it actually looks like a river. There's no water in it, which is really bad. So there's a lot of water restrictions. The good thing about the garden is they let you water your garden as long as you're growing food. You can water that. So we do our best for water collection, but you know, we only have about 400 gallons with the water collection that we have to use the hose water. So let me tell you about onions. Here in Central Texas, we plant a lot of onions. And people have asked us, well, how are you going to eat all these onions? Well, we're not. We're going to dry storage them. And I think I've done videos in the past showing you how we braid them. And we hang them in our mudroom, which is nice and cool, 70 degrees. And the reason why we braid them is so that the air can circulate and they stay nice and dry. And then we just go into the mudroom when we need an onion or two and pick it. They typically will last until, I don't know, early fall, September, which is several months. And when they start to become soft, then we'll take them all down and we'll process them. And typically what we do is we'll just cut them, dice them, slice them, and then we'll vac pack them, and then we'll freeze them. And so we have onions, our onions, in the winter for soups and stews. But Miss Rochelle is working on the herb garden. We had a hose leak last night, so it's kind of turned into a swamp. But we have dill that's coming up, which is a bonus.
I'll do a little plug for Corona garden tools.
Oh, wow.
That was the tool
Yes.
Michael was just using as well. Let me tell you, these are quality made. Not super expensive, but I mean, I'm not having trouble with, you know, sometimes when you use these over the years, like the handle area may get weak and it starts to bend. Had this for several years and no problem. We've also got our clippers,
Yep.
that are Corona name brand, and just really impressive.
And we're not getting paid for this, guys.
Yeah,
we
just
just
a little
really,
plug for...
we really love these tools. Just gonna get all these little weeds. Again, you want to be careful going in between these. In some cases, you're not going to get all of them, but if you keep at it, you'll get most of them out. Just work that soil, fluff it up nice. Try and get as many weeds out as you can. And then we're going to fertilize with our natural fertilizer, and I'll show you what we're using.
Okay, so here's the Vegega, which is actually a new addition to the garden this year. And we're actually hoping to get more and start to get some of these other beds replaced with raised beds. You know, we're getting older. It's a little harder to be down on the hands and knees, and the Vegegas really help with that. The Vegega, of course, is the one where we have the sugar cane, and it's much taller than this one that we purchased.
Yeah, we'll go show them the sugar cane.
But this is going to become, I had an inspiration to do a salsa verde garden. So some people will think of some people will think of like what am I, spaghetti sauce gardens or
Yeah.
so on like that. But I'm gonna do tomatillos with jalapeno plants, cilantro mixed in between. I am an absolute salsa verde fan, and so Mike is going to let me kind of utilize this one this year for my salsa verde.
Exciting. What are you doing? You got your Bonesy. Hey, people are watching you. You got your sweater on? Got your sweater on? Be nice. All right, go play. No? Go play. No? Come on. So Rochelle is weeding this bed right here. And then we're gonna cultivate and put some natural fertilizer in, and then we're gonna plant sections of carrots and beets. Now we're not gonna plant a lot of tomatoes and peppers this year because it's just too darn hot. We haven't gotten any rain. So we're just gonna do a lot of root veg. And when the fall comes, that's when we're gonna do a lot more greens and things. I showed this product on the last video that we did. Let me fix the camera, sorry. Microlife multi-purpose 624 fertilizer. It's a natural fertilizer. You don't have to use that much. Now with root veg, like onion, carrot, turnips, beets, you want a lot of phosphorus, which comes from bone meal. Now, if you put bone meal in the soil, it's not going to work right away. It takes about 6 months to 8 months for it to really absorb. We have had bone meal in this soil for years, so we've got plenty of phosphorus. So this is just an amendment from when we plant. This year, or this spring, we're going to plant our favorite Uzbek yellow and green carrots. I love these. Rochelle does too. They're wonderful. Then we're also going to plant some just sweet Merlin beets, good for roasting. Rochelle makes fire water cider, which is a holistic vinegar, vegetable, herb based liquid that you can take a tablespoonful of, and it helps with allergies. As you can see, hear my voice, it's cedar and mold here in Central Texas, and those of you that live in the area know. But every year around this time, we're getting cedar fever. It's terrible. But the cider, I think Rochelle will do a video on that. That's going to be pretty interesting, maybe next weekend. And then I'm going to do a bunch of radishes. I'm going to do the Easter basket mix, which looks really fun. Look at that. So I'm going to do sections. But first I'm going to go ahead and cultivate. And as I cultivate, I'm going to go ahead and put the fertilizer in the soil. So that's what we'll do next. Here we go. Rochelle had weeded this fence line right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cultivate it because this is where we grow our pole beans, cucumbers, things that will climb up the fence vertically. Are you helping Mama? No? Are you? Yes? Are you helping Mama? Huh? He's our garden buddy. What are you doing? What? Okay, friends, I just want to show you how pretty that soil is. It's 20 plus years of compost and tender loving care. So I'm going to rake it out, and then we're going to use our handy dandy, and you've seen this in videos in the past, our handy little planting jig to space out. And I'm going to actually just plant 1 or 2 carrot seeds in each hole. I know it's tedious, but I don't want to have to thin it out. What are you doing? Look at him. What are you doing?
You're a funny man today.
All right, so next step is I'm going to take my rake and I'm going to just smooth it out level. Now this area is a little wet because we had a hose leak, so I'm not going to plant anything in this section right here. We'll save that maybe for a tomato or a pepper or something. I'm just going to smooth it out nice and level, and then we'll put our jig on the ground and I'll show you how we plant. Nice and level. Looks great. Okay. All right, hope you guys can see. So this is our little jig. It's spaced 4 inches apart for carrots, radishes, beets. We go 6 inches apart. This bed isn't as wide enough, so I do it like sideways like this. And I'll step on it, and then I'll move it over here, and it will create indentions, giving me a pattern to plant the seeds. Now there's 2 ways of planting. You can just broadcast the seeds, and then as the weeks go by, you have to thin them out. I don't want to do that. The less I'm on my hands and knees, the better. So I'm going to take the time now, get on my hands and knees once, and plant 1 seed in each hole. So the question is, well, what if it doesn't come up? Go in there and plant another one. But I'm not thinning every week. I ain't doing that. So then I'll bring in closer to show you when I'm done. So now I'm gonna go ahead and match it right here. And I can see, because I can see the screw holes. Okay, let me bring in close and show you. All right, I'm gonna remove the jig and you guys can see the holes. How easy is that? Now some of these overlap, so you don't have to plant in there, and they're just the right depth. If they're a little too deep, I'll just put a little dirt in there. So now we go and we start planting seeds. Oops, sorry. Okay, friends, as you can see, we have beautiful holes lined up just right for carrots. And then this far one over here, we're going to use every other one. So I did every other one, closing this up for the beets because I need a little more room. I might even close up this as well too and do beet, 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 beet. So that's the plan. Okay, here we go. We're gonna plant the Uzbek. I love these carrots. They're bright yellow, and then on the tops, they're just really nice lime green. So yes, this is tedious, so I'm gonna put a little bit in my hand, and I'm gonna plant 1 to 2 seeds in each hole. People think I'm crazy, but tell me, I've done it for years. So 1 seed, close it up, just keep going. If 2 fall in there, that's fine. There we go, 2 seeds. Reach out over here. I'll go on the other end to get that row. A little too deep. 2 seeds. I don't mind thinning once. And another thing is, friends, carrots are fine growing pretty close together. Oh, forgot one, there we go. But I'm not gonna be doing as much thinning. Okay, I might have to thin maybe once. 2 seeds. 1 seed, 2 seeds. 1, 2. And we'll water this in. Just remember to cover up the hole so you remember that you planted there. And we'll do a follow-up video. We're going to be doing a lot more videos, guys. I apologize that we haven't been doing as many, but I'm working again. I'm back in the food business, which I'm happy about. And I really gotta focus on that as a, my priority. And hey, let's be honest, the economy's tough. We're all hurting. Things are gonna get better, but I wanna make that money. So Miss Rochelle and I maybe can take a nice vacation. So that's why we haven't been filming as much. But we do care about you guys, and we appreciate y'all watching our channel. I'm gonna continue doing this, and then we'll move on. All right, I'm gonna do a row of Bolero hybrid storage carrots. Johnny's Select Seeds, good company. Botanical Interest is great. Baker is where we get the Uzbek, and then the radish, the Easter egg mix. But good companies, look for good companies. Botanical Interest, Baker, and then Johnny's Select Seeds are the ones that we typically use. But this is a good, solid, large, orange, typical carrot. It's very sweet, it's delicious. So we're gonna plant a row of these as well. So we have a bed over here with canna lilies, and then this is a vertical growing space right here along our fence where we grow beans and things like that. So Miss Rochelle, she pulled out the row of canna lilies, and we'll transplant them somewhere. This way they don't get in the way of growing vertically. Right, Bones? I'm gonna go ahead and do about maybe a dozen of these Malbec carrots. They're beautiful, they're red. I mean, they're deep red, but then they're orange inside. They're really pretty. The grandkids like them, so I'm gonna plant these. Rochelle is working hard on the landscape and the flowers. It's kind of her expertise. Let me show you what the plans are over here, guys. So this bed is rotten. The wood is rotten. We're gonna go ahead, we're not gonna use this bed this spring. I'm gonna use all of this rich soil, and I'm gonna put it in the Vegega for Miss Rochelle's Salsa Verde garden. Okay, friends, so most of this garden soil is now in the Vegega. And we're gonna continue to dismantle this. I'll use that good soil for the 5-gallon pots. We'll remove the boards, and then we're probably gonna buy another Vegega, like the same size. And then eventually we'll replace that one as well. All right, tired.
Yeah, we didn't quite get to everything we wanted to get to today, but again, we got a good majority. My Vegega's ready to go, and we've got the seedlings started inside, the tomatillos, jalapenos,
Scotch bonnets.
Cilantro seeds we'll just sprinkle in because it grows like magic.
We got the carrots, three different kinds, and then we've got some beets, and I've dusted in some radishes for you. But yeah, we're done. A lot of that soil we're going to reuse for the 5-gallon pots on the grow tables. We're going to be doing probably a lot more videos because spring is almost here. We're going to be planting. Yep. So
once I get my beets, I want to show you guys how to do the fire water cider.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole video.
Fire cider water.
Fire cider water. It's a holistic, we kind of mentioned it, it's a holistic, vinegar liquid that's got vegetables and herbs and spices and turmeric. And especially here in Central Texas, when we have all these allergies, you take a teaspoon of that or mix it in some tea, and it really does make you feel better.
Loosens things up, yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you later on the next one.